Hey, in today's video we are going to discuss if buying Blackmagic designed Pocket Cinema Camera 4K is a smart investment to do today. And well, the footage should speak for itself, so here's a short cinematic sequence filmed with Pocket 4K. Now the reason why I've made this video is because I get asked all the time about what's the best video camera to buy, and to answer shortly right away, if you're a professional videographer or if you're making videos as a hobby and trying to make a career out of it, and well, you can't afford to buy expensive cinema cameras just yet, I would seriously consider getting the Blackmagic Pocket 4K for professional videography. Because in my opinion, in this price range, it blows out every contender with an incredible image quality and with great dynamic range. This little guy is a beast. Now, this is not going to be a super in-depth techie kind of review because there's tons of those out there already, but what we will do is cover some basic specs, especially from a practical, real-world point of view, and we will also discuss if getting the 6K version is worth it. And hey, if this is your first time on this channel, my name is Tom Strojnik, I'm a filmmaker and FPV drone pilot, and on this channel we talk about everything videography related, so if shooting video is something that you're interested about, consider subscribing. Okay, let's dive in now. Last time I went hiking with my good friend Renato, and he's a very talented content creator, as you will see, and we shot this short cinematic sequence to show you the power this camera has. It was a simple run and gun type of shoot, so we had no diffusers or bouncers with us, and the conditions for filming were far from perfect. It was strong midday sun mixed with clouds, so you can see those harsh shadows on my face, but still the camera performed great and the highlight retention was very solid. We used the Ronin as gimbal, and we think that using these two together is a perfect combination because the surface Renato was walking on was uneven, it was slippery, so we were both really positively surprised to see how smooth the footage turned out to be. You will need to do a little bit of rigging. We used the Tilta cage and it was super easy to mount it on a gimbal, and we balanced it with no problem. The lenses we used were the Panasonic 25mm f1.7 and Olympus 12mm f2.0. Pocket 4K has micro four thirds sensor, meaning with the crop factor, these two were actually 50 and 24mm focal length. The footage in this video was shot in a cinema DNG format. The image quality it produces is incredible, but the downside are huge file sizes, because it's basically a series of raw photos that you combine together in a video. So I would only recommend you use this codec for high budget commercial work, when you need the absolute best image quality, but for when you're filming events, weddings, stuff like that. Blackmagic has actually released an update in 2019, a new codec, RAW 12:1, which enables you to shoot 12-bit RAW on an SD card with different compression options that produce different smaller file sizes. So yeah, to shoot in DNG RAW format you will need expensive CF cards or mount the SSD disk, so being able to shoot compressed RAW on a small SD card is a huge deal. But the three biggest downsides of this camera are bad autofocus, poor battery life, and because it's a micro four thirds sensor, the shallow depth of field is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. I mostly shoot with Canon, so I'm really spoiled with being able to use autofocus. I use it for about 80% of the time, and with Blackmagic you will have to use manual focus, but you get used to it quickly. Even if you use a gimbal, you have the focus peaking, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. And you will also have to have a lot of spare batteries with you on the shoot, because this thing eats them, and you have other alternatives available to mount bigger batteries, but of course this will increase the overall size of your rig. And overall, the Pocket 4K is an amazing camera. YouTube compression aside, you can see that the image quality is really good, but if you have the budget, I would go for the 6K because it's better in low light, you can use the Canon lenses without adapters, and even if you shoot the 4K, it uses the whole 6K sensor, giving you a more detailed and cleaner image. But to be honest, most clients, the normal people who are not professional videographers, won't notice the difference. So if today I were still a hobby filmmaker trying to go pro and I had a limited budget, I would buy the Pocket 4K and spend the extra budget on good lenses and good lights. And this is something that we will talk about in another video. Often we obsess about buying the latest camera model, but the fact is that having good lighting is what can really transform and level up the quality of your image. So yeah, this was a quick overview. Please do subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.